News here. Interesting. Israeli Prime Minister now officially considered a war criminal by the International Criminal Court, so he can be arrested in the countries that participated in this court. I think it's all of Europe, many other countries. It's about time. And let's actually watch this video here. And I don't really get into too many political things at all, and especially outside of the U.S. And as far as I'm concerned, people want to focus on Israel and this and that to distract from the real crime gang that is basically propping up Israel that runs America. You see, so I don't really care too much. But clearly, when you have the type of genocide that's going on, engaged by this psychopath, this sociopath, Benjamin Netanyahu, then it becomes an issue. It should be discussed, should be protested against, and understand. Keep in mind, remember, folks, you have certain individuals in America, people who actually are the forces behind Israel's control of America, absolute control. And understand why Israel, a tiny little country, controls the world superpower. How do they do that? Well, take a look at, it's all about money. Follow the money. Follow the money. And when you follow the money, you find the power. Take a look at the money and the power in America. You understand? And this is why they don't want people to focus on what's going on in America. Because then you're going to see the power structure. You're going to see a mafia that runs everything, that defrauds people through their control of most of the industries, right? And where do you think that money's going from those people at the top that are defrauding everybody through the control of their industries? It's going to Israel. It's going to Congress to make sure they support Israel in these ridiculous wars. Israel has been murdering Palestinians for decades, and they're doing that using U.S. taxpayer dollars. I don't know if you all know that. If you don't know that, you really need to open your fucking eyes. So I have a big problem. Like I said, I don't really care what goes on in the rest of the world for the most part, but I certainly care when money that I'm paying as a taxpayer is going to fund genocide. And, the entire U.S. military, which is a complete fucking joke. Anybody in the U.S. military should hold their head in fucking shame. Okay? Because you're there to fight wars for Israel, for corporate America. That's all you're there for. You're there to exploit nations. You're there to do the bidding of the power structure that runs America. You're not there to defend America. That's what you're there for. You're basically a corporate mercenary. Okay? That's fact. So let's listen to this.
The International Criminal Court has just issued arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, accusing them of war crimes in Gaza, and also for a top Hamas commander, also known as Mohammed Deif, who is believed to be dead. The court says it found reasonable grounds to believe the prime minister bears criminal responsibility for war crimes, including starvation as a method of warfare. And it rejected Israel's challenge of the court's jurisdiction over the matter. CNN's Nick Robertson joins us now from Jerusalem.
So the first thing I'm thinking to myself is when When is everyone out there, the media, you know who runs the media? Okay. I challenge you to take a look. Great example. I was just looking at Scamberg the other day, Bloomberg. Take a look. Every single fucking person, they'll throw in a token minority. Take a look who they are. The journalists, the experts, folks, we have a discrimination problem going on that no one's talking about. But I'm waiting now for this whole establishment to start to call the International Criminal Court anti-Semitic. You're anti-Semitic. How dare you say anything bad about anyone from Israel? You're anti-Semite. That's how they operate. You know that, right? Sounds to me like anti-Semite means you're telling the truth. Now, let's be clear here. I haven't looked into the International Criminal Court. I believe I know a little bit about them from history. I've heard them off and on over the decades. And correct me if I'm wrong. You can do a search now. But, let's be fair. I do believe that arrest warrants were issued for George W. Bush, and Dick Cheney because of the atrocities from the Iraq War. Someone can look that up and verify that. I don't know. It's just from memory from, 20 years ago. But I do believe that is the case. Could be wrong. But I believe that they should have been issued arrest warrants for sure. But of course, look, the bottom line, folks, is none of this stuff matters. The U.S. controls everything, right? The U.S. controls everything. So, nothing's going to happen to anyone that is from the U.S. or joined to the hip with the U.S., which would mean Netanyahu, because the U.S. runs the show. And that's good and it's bad. It's been good for quite a while, but I think you're probably starting to see how it's become bad over the past several years. It's not a good thing what's going on in America. And I'm not talking about all the woke stuff, all those societal issues. I'm talking about the U.S. getting more and more heavily involved in geopolitical issues, using military force and funding other countries, providing weaponry to other countries, not just Israel, but also Ukraine. And, the U.S., Europe, they are really pushing the envelope, empowering Ukraine now to invade Russia. I mean, I guess Europe and America want World War III. I guess that's what they're pushing for now. Unbelievable. If I was running the show, I'd make a global law as follows. Any country that's not being attacked, that helps another country through military weaponry or some type of unfair advantage, monetary advantage to empower them, that country, should be treated like a war criminal. No country should attack another country or help another country attack another country unless they're being invaded. The end. It's funny because if you look back, I'm not much of a history person, but if you look back, World War II, I do believe America was neutral, right? They were neutral. America did not want to get involved in the war. Why? Because it didn't affect America. America was not being threatened directly, right? Now, you can go and discuss whether or not, the whole Pearl Harbor thing, whether America knew and they allowed it as a way to get in. That doesn't matter. The point I'm trying to make is that, America used to be neutral. Now, America is pretty much behind all these wars, and it's ridiculous. And, no matter how you feel about this, You as a taxpayer, an American taxpayer, should be disgusted that your tax dollars are going to fight all these wars that have nothing to do with your country. Now, they're always going to say, oh, well, Israel's the only democracy in that part of the world. Who cares? First of all, democracy my ass. Second of all, who cares? I don't care. They're always going to give you some bullshit excuse. Bottom line, your country's not being invaded. You should not be involved in any type of military conflict. The end. I think it's common sense. But, they'll brainwash people with all kinds of bullshit. Also, keep in mind, and, I apologize. I wasn't going to talk about this, really, but came across my screen. I had to mention it. Probably, actually, I'm going to have to, the way this is going, maybe I'll have to do another stream with the Alex Jones, dream team Trump is assembling. Crackpot conspiracy lunatics. But the other thing that you want to keep in mind is you got, as I was talking about earlier, these people that control things, that, the money guys. And ask yourself, folks, take a look at the wealthiest people in America. And I'm not just talking about the top 5 or top 10. You can certainly focus on them and ask yourself, where are they getting their money? But let's take a look at the top 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Take a close look at who they are. A very close look. And understand where they get their money. And ask yourself if they're getting their money legally, honestly, or maybe they're getting it legally, certainly dishonestly, and they're skirting the rules. They're engaging in manipulation, which, it's difficult to say that they are breaking the law, per se. For instance, a great example, Elon Musk, as I warned back a month or so ago, I warned about this happening, how he was basically buying the presidency. And you can see now the latest news is what? Donald Trump is going to lower the regulatory hurdles for self-driving. You heard that? Let's take a look here. I think I pulled it up on my other. Yeah, there you go. I mean, look at this. He's not even in office yet. Elon Musk has bought the presidency. I told you guys this is what's going to happen. This is just the beginning. I mean, think about this.
I think it's a great question, and it's something that
back up even more. It's only up about 2.8% pre-market at the moment. But how do investors feel about the divided attention? And it's interesting. Does Rivian actually have something to gain here as you think about where Musk's attention is going?
Speaking of Elon Musk, I saw this as well. Take a look. Oh, and also, yeah, this isn't this Rowan? Is this Rowan? Let me see here. Looks like him. I think it's him, the CEO of Apollo. Is this not him? Yeah, there we go. Apollo, yeah, that's him. So, of course, Trump is looking to name him the U.S. Treasury Secretary. I mean, what? I thought, all you Trump supporters, I thought Trump was going to drain the swamp. Are you fucking kidding me? Drain the swamp? Rowan is the swamp. He's part of the fucking swamp. You don't want to bring in some fucking Wall Street shyster into the U.S. Treasury Department. You don't want that because you know what's going to happen. Your money is ultimately going to go, you taxpayers, your money and you investors, your money is going to Wall Street even more so. You understand that, right? So how is it possible? What are you talking about? It's debt. How could it be? I'm not going to explain all the mechanisms, how it can happen. For you ding-dongs out there who don't have much intelligence to figure it out. Don't want to waste time on that, but take a look at this. So this Vivek Ramaswamy, this guy, by the way, he's such a fucking cloud-chasing con artist. I mean, I hope you guys know this. I mean, you all should know this guy is a whore to the extreme. He will do anything, say anything, betray anyone to get what he wants. Completely slimy, dishonest piece of shit. Now, you all know I don't rail these types of insults too often. I haven't said that about Elon Musk. I haven't even said that about Donald Trump or anybody else. You probably have never heard me say that. I can't recall saying that. It's about the most disgusting, pretty low this guy is. Complete piece of trash. Complete piece of trash. I guess probably the only person I would say who rivals this guy, probably even worse, is that Palapatia con man. The SPAC con man, Palapatia, you know, the guy that most of you people out there were fooled by. You know, you get fooled by all these fuckers that are promoted by the media. They're promoted. They ain't on your side. Wake the fuck up. This Palapatia guy who comes out and tries to be a populist, tell you he's on your side. Yeah, he's for the people. First red flag. He worked for Scambook. And all of a sudden now, after he made all his money working for Scambook, he wants to tell you how they're bad. Well, why don't you start off, you scammer, by fucking giving the money back? It's easy to come out after working for a criminal organization, making a ton of money, blood money. It's easy after you leave, I don't know if he's probably fired, to claim that they suck. Right? Doing that to make you think he's on your side. Right? And then what's he do? Because he wants to, folks, it's what I said before. It's about this whole SEC changed all the laws, investor laws, and Reg FD's changed. All these fucking scammers now pumping out all their private equity horse shit on ScamTube. Grant Cardone would probably not have much money in his real estate investment company if it weren't for social media. And if it weren't for the SEC changing the laws around 2014, 2015, sometime around that time, where you can actually market private equity, typically for accredited investors, to the dummies. You got it? This whole SPAC thing was part of that, although there were no laws that were changed to market towards that. SPACs have always been a scam, and they were promoted out there with this whole wave of Cathie Wood-like, Robin Hood-like democratization of investments. Yeah, you can get involved too now. Yeah, you can do it. No, you fucking can't. You're gonna lose your fucking ass, dumbass. They want you to think you can do. You can't compete against me. You think you can compete against. Remember, folks, investments, Wall Street, it's a game, competitive game. There's two fucking teams, the winning team, the losing team. You're not gonna ever compete against me. I can guarantee fucking damn well tell you that. You think you know more than me about investing? You're going to beat me on that investment, on that trade? You're not going to. And then you've got the bigger forces out there, the guys, the big funds, the institutions who work on insider information. They want you to, democratization, we're going to give you. Some things you better left to not deal with. You understand? It's all a scam to get you to think that you can do well and you can, I can make money. No, you can't. You'll never beat the fucking index. Guaranteed. But they want you to think all this bullshit because they're taking your money, you dumbasses. So, and of course, I mentioned Elon Musk now. He's involved in the government. Of course, he's going to have all these policies. Elon Musk, and I don't know how he's fooled so many people, especially now that he's turned from left wing to right wing, right? Remember, Elon Musk was this liberal guy, right wing guy, hug the trees, save the whales, climate change. That's what empowered his whole Tesla company, right? And of course, he knew from the beginning that climate change, the man-made climate change narrative is a complete lie. It's a hoax. But he wanted to jump on the gravy train, the taxpayer-funded gravy train, right? And then, of course, when he realized that Trump was probably going to win, remember, Elon Musk flip-flopped. he was never a Trump supporter. In fact, if you might recall, in the first administration, Elon Musk was part of some type of an energy cabinet, and Elon Musk left after like a few days because Trump was against the whole green machine scam, and Elon Musk departed. Look into it. So Elon Musk realized about a year ago that Trump wasn't going to win. Trump was going to win. Biden didn't have a chance. Remember, Elon Musk was supporting Trump well before Biden stepped out of the race, when everyone knew Biden didn't have a fucking chance. Elon Musk started supporting Trump and pretending on his scam platform, Twitter. Elon, sorry, you call your little fucking platform X, you give it a stupid fucking name, I'm not going to acknowledge it. Go fuck yourself. It's Twitter. Twitter's a stupid name to begin with, but I'm not going to change to your stupid platform X. Elon Musk and that stupid Twitter platform began to embrace the whole ideology that many loyal, intelligent Americans have embraced. They are for defined borders in their country, right? They're for normal family values that they don't want a society that glamorizes and celebrates mentally ill behaviors, which I'm not going to mention. And let me just remind everyone that, by the way, if you look into the history of homosexuality, it was actually considered a mental illness. Okay? Mental illness. If you look into the, I think it's a DSV, the psychological guidelines, it was considered a mental illness back in the, I believe, 50s and 60s, prior to that. I'm not going to get into why it was removed and who did it, but you might be able to guess if you take a close look at who dominates the field of psychiatry and the motives of that clique. But anyway, so Elon Musk aligned himself with this, pro-American stance, which pro-American, I think it's an accurate term. But of course, the establishment wants to call that, they'll say nationalist, they'll say neo-Nazi, they'll say racist, because the establishment, and this establishment, understand, this embodies organizations like IMF, World Bank, United Nations. These are global elitist establishments that advocate open borders. They have policies which specifically call for the Western world redistributing its wealth to the third world. That's right. They're saying that your money needs to go to the third world, and you need to open your borders, and you need to provide people who want to come into your country with money. That's right. I'm not exaggerating. I don't exaggerate. Remember, I'm a trained chemist, a scientist. I don't exaggerate. Okay? You can look it up. In fact, for all you idiots out there who still believe Jordan Peterson is on your fucking side, Jordan Peterson, as I said before, is an anti-white, pro-globalist. He is a gatekeeper. He has controlled opposition, working for the left. Jordan Peterson has worked for the United Nations. He actually authored a paper. He wrote a paper which specifically detailed the objectives of the United Nations to redistribute the wealth from the West to the rest of the world and to open the borders of the West. That's right. And he's been propositioned by, and by the way, if you ever ask yourself why anybody like Jordan Peterson, many others, how they rise to all this fame quickly, all of a sudden they get this big name. Folks, it's a planned situation. Jordan Peterson was empowered by the left. You understand? He's controlled opposition because he realized, and if you listen to the guy closely, you'll hear him admit that basically he's afraid that the right is going to become too awoken and the left is too extreme, and they are causing too much agitation to the right, which threatens potentially the whole agenda. In other words, the left has done so many things to actually startle and awaken the right such that the right could rise up and cause some big problems for the left. That's why Jordan Peterson was promoted as a shill, you see, a fake guru, a fake leader for the right, to basically diffuse the right-leaning individuals. You understand? This is why, in fact, understand Jordan Peterson has come out and said there's basically no such thing as the white race. And he wants to demonize people who associate, who have an identity of being white. That's right. So I'm not going to talk about that fraud anymore. Complete fucking profiteering piece of fucking trash. Drug addicted fucking hypocritical profiteering shill and loser. If you fell for this guy, guess what? Your judgment in things isn't too good. It's not too good. You fell for this guy. Well, this is what I'm saying, folks. All these people out there that are promoted, they're all fakes. Okay, you just got to figure out what's going on. If you're promoted, it's for a reason. It ain't to help the people. It's to fuck the people. That's a fact. Okay. I mean, it's just so obvious. The problem is that you have to really understand what's going on. And, someone the other day said, well, gosh, I guess there's no one out there. That's right. Every single person. Folks, why do you think I was banned? You think there's someone out there like me that's got exposure? If you think there is, then you're being fooled. You just haven't peeled back all the layers of the onion yet. Do you understand? So increasingly, they create more and more people with higher levels of manipulation and sophistication so that it's more difficult to see what's going on. And that means you have to know more and more and more. And just about nobody really knows enough in terms of the public to spot this shit out. This is why so many people are fooled. There's so many gatekeepers out there. There's so many controlled opposition tools out there that you're going to find this guy that you believe, or this guy, or this guy. If you don't believe this person, well, you're going to believe this person. It's all a big circle. You can't escape it. And you think, oh, no, well, he's legit. No, they're not. Folks, I've been in this business now, looking at this shit, analyzing this shit for close to 20 years. And I'm telling you right now, they're all fakes. They're all phonies. And even people out there who they think, well, gosh, this guy was deplatformed. He's been banned. They think that's enough logic for them to think that the person is legitimate. Now, sorry, you just don't get how it all works. Okay, it's like I said before. People, so many fucking idiots believed Alex Jones, and they still believe this guy, this complete fraud. I mean, Alex Jones, this is like one of the lowest levels it gets. If you're falling for this guy, you have no fucking hope in this world. Alex Jones got almost 25 years to build his business of fraud and disinformation. He was never banned. And gradually, more and more, he realized who buttered his fucking bread. And that's why he made ridiculous claims such as the Federal Reserve is run by Arabs, and Hollywood is run by Arabs, and our media is run by Arabs and Chinese. That's right. I've got the fucking video clip. You understand? He was finally deplatformed because he went too far. You see? And he was being groomed for mainstream, as I talked about before. You see? It's the person out there who's banned from day fucking one That's a person who's a candidate. I'm not saying for certain, but certainly a fucking candidate for truthfulness, who they fear. Think about it. A person has zero reach, and they ban that person from day fucking one because they were so afraid of that person gaining a following. You understand? Guess who was banned from day fucking one? They wouldn't even publish my books, my world-class books, probably the best investment books ever written in fucking history. Somebody want to debate me on that? Show me some other books. You read this book, you can make a fortune. I lay it all out there. Right? Of course, it wasn't just that. I exposed free trade, exposed the healthcare system, I exposed the fraud on Wall Street, I exposed how the whole system operates, which is why I was banned. Because the criminal mafia stood to lose a lot of money if people realize how everything works. So let me show you this now. Take a look at this one. This is even more recent here. Elon Musk asked people to upload their medical data to X, so its AI company could learn to interpret MRIs and CAT scans. Can you believe this guy? And Elon Musk, getting back to this guy, Elon Musk is a complete fucking con man. He uses his inherent, I guess, disability, you could call it. I don't know what he has, what his, I'm not sure if he has Asperger's or something like that. He uses that little kind of a dissociative kind of, let's call it antisocial type of behavior to portray himself as someone who's honest and who cares about the people. He'll give you this verbiage and tell you how AI can be dangerous. He's worried. You understand? It's kind of like Google, how they do their little bullshit. How, oh, well, yes, we're worried about information sharing, right? They're actually exposing what they're doing so as to portray themselves as not doing the crime, right? It's like a bank robber saying he's worried about bank robbers. So the people think, oh, okay, well, yeah, he's against bank robbers. So they don't suspect him as a bank robber. That's what Elon Musk does. And so these stupid fucking people trust this guy. Even though he flip-flopped on them, right? He turned from liberal to right-wing in order to get good graces with Trump, who he knew was going to win. Donated $132 million to Trump. I mean, and understand, folks, that campaign, I don't know the details of campaign financing, how that all works, but I do know a little bit. And any money that goes to a campaign, you have to understand something. For the most part, they can use it for anything they want as long as they associate that with kind of their political work. You understand? So just as a very basic example, I would have to believe that this $132 million, which that's what's reported, maybe it's a lot more, we don't know for sure. $132 million that Musk donated to Trump's campaign. How much is that? Like 8%? 10%? I don't know how much, That money, if you can imagine, okay, is potentially going to go, just as a simple example, to Mar-a-Lago, Trump's little, whatever you call it, facility in Florida where he hosts a lot of things, right? He hosts a lot of political meetings there. You understand? So, and that's what he did in his first term. That's what he's going to continue to do. So he can scam the taxpayer. You see, if he hosts meetings, political meetings at Mar-a-Lago, well, everyone there is going to have to, they're being charged for dinner, for drinks, for whatever. And they can mark it up any fucking price they want. You understand? So Trump, basically, he could probably net easily, if he puts that $132 million, earmarks that for Mar-a-Lago events associated with political, and it doesn't have to be when Trump's in office. It can be any type of politically related meeting before he gets in office. And let's say he has 500 people there or 1,000 people there. You know, the dinner's going to cost $500 a head or $1,000 a head. Oh, okay. You understand. So Trump could easily pocket of that $132 million pure profit after paying for the employees, for the food, so on and so forth. You know, he could easily pocket $100 million. Easily. You understand. You got to think about this shit, folks. So think about this. You got Elon Musk now. He's supposed to be the hero, the guy you can trust. He's getting these stupid fucking idiots to upload their medical data. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? And I mean, he doesn't even want to compensate them. You understand how valuable this is? He doesn't even want to say, you know what, if you upload your data to help my AI scammy product that's just going to deceive you and defraud you in the future, it's going to fuck you. If you do that, I'll pay you $200, $300. No, he doesn't do that because he knows he can fool his little groupies, his cult members, who are willingly going to do whatever. Because why? Because he's supporting us. He's fighting for us. Yeah. You fucking idiots. You fucking idiots. Folks, anybody who's claiming to support some type of cause or movement, it's profiting from that movement, you should never trust. You understand, right? Elon Musk has commingled his business interests with his social media platform. You understand, right? I've talked about how Elon Musk basically bought Twitter for free. He got it for free. $58 billion for free. It's like, how's that possible, Mike? Because he used Twitter to manipulate Tesla stock through false statements that caused shares to soar. You understand that? His bogus full self-driving statements. You understand, right? He profited tens of billions of dollars illegally through false statements that he promoted on Twitter. He used that money. He cashed out and bought Twitter from that scam. How come no one's talking about that? It's pretty fucking obvious. Are all you people in the world that fucking stupid? You didn't see that? I mentioned that a few years ago. It's just so obvious. You people out there, you're spending all your time consuming, absorbing what all these scammers are saying. You don't question nothing. That's why you're not able to see the fucking writing on the goddamn wall. It's so fucking obvious. And if you're not able to see that, ask yourself whatever the fuck else you're not able to see. Probably nothing. And you think that you know everything. You don't know shit. You're under complete mind control by the media. Fact. 99.9% of you. So let's get now to, we got to finish this. Let's listen to this.
And Nick, what more can you tell us?
Well, this is a very, very significant escalation. It was first announced by Karim Khan, the ICC chief prosecutor, back in May, that he was going to seek to request arrest warrants for Benjamin Netanyahu and Yoav Gallant, who was the defense minister at the time, as well as 3 other senior Hamas officials, including Mohammed Deif, Ismail Haniyeh, Yahya Sinwar, the other. Those 3 are all dead. Deif believed to have been killed in July, so unclear why they've issued an arrest warrant now for him. But by overturning...
Look, let me tell you why they did that. Okay, they did it because they don't want to be accused of being an anti-Semite, of targeting Israel. You understand? That's why. This whole anti-Semite fucking term, it doesn't have any meaning anymore. It has lost meaning a long time ago. It basically means you're telling the fucking truth. Okay? And you know, there's a certain group out there that fears 2 things. They fear the truth and they fear fucking real goddamn work.
Yoav Gallant.
So this looks like the mother of all rallies. Many stock markets.
Scam artist Adam Koo. It's Adam Koo, right? I want you guys to go on all these trading fake investment gurus channels and just go there and just kind of float around. I don't want to subject you to watching their videos. Put it on mute and see this guy. Guarantee this guy is going to pop up. Then you're going to know for proof positive they are business partners with this guy. This Adam Koo, right? Notice he's changed his branding. Piranha Profits. Before, a long time ago, he would introduce himself as Adam Koo. He's got such a bad fucking name. Isn't that Adam Koo? Is that right?
US, China, even Singapore are near all-time highs.
This guy is a scammer. Look at it. Listen to this. The fucking
I think
idiots.
trading the fabulous 5 stocks is the biggest opportunity.
I think trading the these guys are idiots.
I have made over $1.2 million.
Yeah, okay.
Trading.
Guaranteed, guys. These guys don't know how to trade their way out of a fucking corner. Complete fucking scammers. And by the way, this whole trading, folks, anybody promoting trading. And by the way, there's somebody I'm going to profile. I can't get ahead of myself too much because, Jesus Christ. See, folks, that's what happens when you open the can of worms. So much shit fucking comes out because all this shit's connected. Fucking scammers. Folks, anybody promoting trading is a scammer. Okay? Write that down. You can't think about it. How are you going to trade the stock? What's your competitive advantage? Technical analysis? Are you fucking stupid? You have to have deep insight. You have to know what's going on with the company big time if you want to make any type of short-term trades. You have to understand valuation. You have to understand sentiment. You have to understand a lot. There's no just like little simple fucking trades. And that's what all these guys do. It's all about trading and using technical analysis. Technical analysis, if you think that's a competitive advantage, you're gonna lose all your fucking money. That's a fucking joke. Complete fucking scammers.
Stocks like Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, Google.
Absurd. The statement says Israel utterly rejects the absurd and false actions and accusations against it.
Request international organizations to bring in much needed medical supplies. Meanwhile, the US has vetoed a UN Security Council resolution that called for an immediate and unconditional ceasefire in Gaza.
Of course.
Will those in favour of the draft resolution contained in document S/2024-835 please raise their hand? Those against?
See that?
Well, only the US.
See that? Folks, this has been going on for decades. Okay? This has been going on for decades. The UN, whether it's, always the Palestine, Israel, and the US always vetoes anything that is not pro-Israel. It's a fucking joke. Okay, it's a fucking joke. Think about that. Your tax money is going. And the whole excuse is, right, understand, Hamas is and I'm not going to say for sure, although we'll just go ahead and assume, is an allegedly terrorist organization. Okay? I haven't looked into it enough to truly see what's going on, but we'll just go ahead and go with that. Hamas is a terrorist organization in Palestine, right? So they're killing, there's a lot of collateral damage, a lot of innocent people, children, women. And whenever Israel blows up a school or hospital, they say, well, it was a Hamas hiding place. How convenient. No evidence, just okay, right? Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. So let's move on now. Yeah, Vladimir Putin as well has been charged with war crimes, of course. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I'm not sure. I want to say that many years ago, George W. Bush and Dick Cheney were. You all can look into that. If they weren't, they certainly should have been. So let's start off here with JFK. Or I'm sorry, Robert F.K. Robert Kennedy Jr. Robert Kennedy Jr. You all may have heard this, and I should probably do a full feature on this because there's a lot to talk about. And many of you listening to this are like, oh no, he's right on because he's anti-vaxxer. Folks, if you're falling for this shit, and I did this thing on Catherine Austin Fitz, how, this conspiracy bullshit, and people are like, oh, she's right. No, she's not. If you think Catherine Austin Fitz is right in her claims that the vaccine is like an operating system to take over your mind, your body, then you've got mental fucking disease. Okay? You've got mental fucking disease. Okay? So, of course the stocks went down. It's a fucking buying opportunity. I've been buying certain stocks. I love it. I love it. It's great. It's great. So let's kind of review. And let me just mention this Robert Kennedy. I don't know, like he's got some problem with his speaking. Is it like some disorder or something? Anybody know about that? I don't really know this fucking guy, this clown. I don't look into him. What's the deal? Does he have some like disorder? Because I don't want to make fun of him if it's a disorder. What's the deal? Does he have like some known disorder with his, what's the situation? Anybody know? Because I don't know. But anyway, so it's just kind of annoying to listen to the guy, to be honest with you. And I don't know how anyone, you can be in any type of position of authority when you can't really communicate well. It's just annoying to kind of struggle to listen to kind of understand what you're saying. Oh, I see. Okay, neurological disorder in his vocal cords. Okay. I didn't know. I had no idea. I just didn't know if I was, but anyway. So this is a guy who basically was a nobody, and he wanted to get some attention. So what did he do? He comes out and starts, he goes with the whole COVID conspiracy people back several years ago. You see? And in matter of fact, he actually stated, he's gone on record as to state that there are no effective vaccines. There are no safe vaccines. There are no effective and no safe vaccines. That's what he said. That's what this guy said. So let's take a look and understand, this guy has zero fucking knowledge of science or medicine. Okay? And I have a pretty good expertise in the biosciences. Okay? Pretty fucking good. I've taught courses, including a biotechnology course, which I created. And it's been a long time. I don't do that. It's obviously I'm not connected to that. I don't, but I know enough to know. In fact, I did actually explained, I did a 5-hour webinar on the coronavirus, explained all the mechanisms and everything, how everything worked, and the mechanisms of action of the various vaccines in 2021, I think it was, that I did. But so he doesn't have any knowledge. He doesn't have any basis to speak, first of all. And he's not qualified to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. And, of course, that is, they're essentially in charge of Medicare and Medicaid. But this is a guy who's claimed that there are no effective vaccines. I mean, there's something wrong with your fucking head if you're going to say that. Vaccines, and let me be clear, vaccines have been arguably the greatest medical achievement in history. You could argue that. I don't know if I would say the number one, but certainly there's an argument that you could make. If you understand health and human disease, and you understand the treatments, and you understand, you have a sense of history, of all the plagues and so forth, then you could easily argue that vaccines have been the greatest innovation in medical science. Right? No doubt. You could argue that. In fact, I would probably go on record as saying that as well. So, no doubt about that. But he's saying that there's no effective vaccines. Now, vaccine safety is a different issue, right? But for him to say that there's no safe vaccines, if you're going to make that claim, then you should basically say, well, okay, there's no safe therapies at all. Okay. So he made that claim. Why? To get in good with all these conspiracy lunatics who are falling for all types of horseshit. And keep in mind, remember, once again, I've discussed this before. If you go back to the pandemic, the establishment had this narrative. It was exaggerated, and they were trying to get everybody to get vaccinated. They were desperate to do so. They did make false claims. They kind of created the problem that they had to deal with on their own because they made too many false claims, and they were trying to get people vaccinated. They were pushing them too much. Okay? As a result of that, you had people that pushed back, and you had a lot of conspiracy wackos and crackpot theories, extreme, largely untrue, and many things completely untrue that were propagated. The truth was somewhere in between, and the truth is as follows. I believe, and I explained this before, the COVID, was it the flu? Yeah, it's the flu. It's the flu. The end. The end. The flu is not something to sneer at. The flu, the influenza, that's the flu, influenza virus, okay? That's deadly. Influenza is deadly. The annual flu is deadly. It kills many people. No doubt about it. Many fucking people. That's why they have annual vaccines to the influenza virus, the flu. However, the flu, the influenza virus, the annual flu, rarely causes the death of people who are not already in a high-risk population, right? They have some type of predisposed medical condition, or they have a weak immune system. So they're elderly, right? Or they're very young, infants, toddlers. That's the high-risk population for the flu, okay? Same thing with COVID, coronavirus, same thing. Probably there's a few other high-risk categories for the coronavirus as well. I would say that obesity, although that's going to be a high risk for virtually any type of medical condition, especially that was a high risk for the coronavirus if you were obese. Okay, so the bottom line is this. If you're in a high-risk group or you're going to come into contact with a high-risk group, I would have recommended to take the vaccination. Okay, what that means is that most people didn't need to take the vaccination or the let's just say half the people, okay? Because I don't know the exact numbers throughout the world. But let's say at least half the people didn't need to take it. And instead what you had, and even today you have these establishments in a variety of countries that are advocating, they have put the COVID vaccine as part of the vaccine schedule in infants, which is insane. It's completely ridiculous, I believe. Now, the second issue is this. Was the vaccine unsafe? And then, of course, you have the whole issue of, okay, it's mRNA. And you heard all these idiots that talk about mRNA that never had fucking genetics, never had human genetics. Okay, I have. I've had countless courses in graduate level molecular cellular biology, molecular genetics, advanced immunology. I've had all that shit. All of it. Okay? In addition to chemistry, which is what, a lot of chemistry, which is what kind of separates me from many people. You see? Because I have that comprehensive background. And I can tell you that there was no risk on the surface, let's say, of the mRNA vaccine in terms of integrating into your DNA and all that horse shit you hear about. Now, I will say this. That's based upon everything that we know about science. There's a caveat, and the caveat is, you know what? We don't know everything about science because things are being discovered on a daily basis. Is it a possibility that it could be an issue? Of course there's a possibility. It's just minuscule. And so then you ask yourself, it's a risk-benefit analysis. What's the risk versus the benefit? It's essentially something to not even think about in terms of the actual genetic material causing a problem. Because the fact is it's degraded after it goes through and the transcription process and so on and so forth. The main issue, I believe, is really the adjuvant. That's the solution that is formed in order to distribute the vaccine into the body. The adjuvants are, I think, historically the cause of some of the issues because the adjuvants, they change over time. So let's say, the MMR, measles, mumps, rubella vaccine, I'm willing to bet that, it's the initial adjuvant that they created for that. That is, once again, it's the solution that you put the vaccine in to distribute it into the body. So it's a certain solution, okay? I'm sure that that's changed many times over the decades. So the problem is, I think there needs to be scrutiny on the adjuvant, the actual chemical solutions that they are formulating. And the second issue is, look, folks, any new vaccine is going to be high risk for safety issues. That's fact. Just like any new drug. Okay? Anything new, right? It hasn't been tested. So there's obviously an issue there. It hasn't adequately been tested. But in terms of all these conspiracies, so that's the main issue right there, is basically the bottom line is it was new and it hasn't been tested adequately. That's the issue. It's not because there's just genetic manipulation, all this horse shit you were hearing, it's spread by 5G towers, all this nonsense. No. The main issue is, look, it hasn't been tested. I'm not high risk. I don't want to take it because I'm not high risk. I'm not coming into contact with high risk people, and it's a new vaccine. By definition, it's risky because it's new. You didn't really hear that. Certainly that was not the prevailing theme by the anti-vaxxers, right? Why? Because, folks, the establishment doesn't want to arm you with common sense and reason. They want to arm you with whack jobs. They want to make sure and promote the whack job conspiracies and lunatics so that you're going to say, hey, you know what? These people are extreme. They're fringe. I'm going to go with the establishment. You understand? It's easier for the establishment to get the population to accept their narrative, their claims, their recommendations if the opposition is extreme, as opposed to kind of middle ground, what I was talking about. You see? And that's how the control mechanism works with everything now because of the internet. That's what they're doing now. That's why you hear about all these wacko things. You know, let's say, for instance, that you are you're for, you know, a country having normal closed borders. And so the opposition, they're going to promote kind of wacko things to make you say, you know what, maybe it's not good that we have the borders closed, because you're going to be bombarded with a lot of extraneous, extreme, false information that makes you question the opposition's stance. That's how the establishment controls people these days, by the way, in everything. Same thing they've been doing. I mean, they've been doing this with healthcare for decades, right? How they have positioned universal healthcare, that's all, it's socialized medicine. You don't want to wait in line for a year for an operation like they do in Canada, do you? And they give you little cherry-picked anecdotes that don't really have a true sense of reality, things like that, so that you're going to say, no, I don't want socialized medicine. You know, that's kind of makes it sound bad, socialized medicine, right? You understand? That's the control mechanism. That's how it works. That's why it's really important to really understand what's going on. Otherwise, you're going to be duped by the opposition. You're either going to fall for their extreme bullshit, or you're going to be dissuaded from their extreme bullshit so that you accept the establishment's narrative. That's the whole key right there. I've just explained to everyone how the world works in terms of the control mechanism. Write it down. Okay. So this is the guy who Robert Kennedy Jr. wants to remove fluoride from our drinking supply because why? Because he listens to Alex Jones. You know, that was a big fluoride. You know, fluoride was this whole thing with Alex Jones, 15, 20 years ago. He was pushing all that. Oh, fluoride. Why? So he could sell you his fucking snake oil. He wants to sell you his snake oil, right? And I've got a video, by the way, in my archives. It's funny because some of you may know Alex Jones' dad. Guess what his dad does? His dad's a dentist. Did you all know that? You all know that dentists use fluoride treatment? Are you all aware of that? And so somebody called up Alex Jones' dad, his office, and wanted to schedule an appointment for fluoride treatment. And the person made the appointment. You understand? It just shows the total fucking lunacy and hypocrisy of Alex Jones. Complete fraudster, complete fucking scam artist. And of course, the whole fluoride thing is, it lowers your IQ. Okay? Lowers your IQ. So, what are some of the other I haven't looked into this guy, but I know there's a lot of crackpot claims and conspiracy horseshit. Let's take a look here. I pulled up some things here. Kennedy told MSNBC he'd like to see entire departments at the FDA, particularly nutrition regulators, dismissed. So this is a guy who he falls for the whole nutrition bullshit. And for those of you who haven't heard me say this before, folks, I have been aware of, have been talking about the nutritional supplements industry being a scam for more than 20 years. Now, does that mean that all nutritional supplements are bullshit? No, it does not. There are some out there that are good. But the key thing is this: ask yourself the question, who's making money off of what? Typically, the stuff that's good isn't a moneymaker. And other times they make the stuff that's good into a moneymaker by the way that they transform it. So for instance, let me give you a good example. The whole fish oil, right? Omega fatty acids, fish oil. So what do? They give you a fucking pill and they tell you it's fish oil. Do you know what it is? No, you don't know what it is. How do you know what's in there? Because you assume that it's reliable, because you're assuming that, well, it has to be fish oil because I take a medicine and I know it's real because the FDA inspects it. Guess what? The FDA doesn't inspect the vast majority of nutritional facilities. That's part of the problem, is there's almost absolute zero regulation with the nutritional supplements industry. And the big problem with that is in terms of the manufacturing, because most of the nutritional supplements are manufactured in China. Now, if anyone out there doesn't understand that's a problem, you haven't spent time in China. You don't understand the types of shit that goes on in China and other countries in Asia. For instance, you might want to look into the use of gutter oil for cooking. It's been going on in China for years. You know what gutter oil is? Gutter oil is used cooking oil. You can only use oil to cook so many times before it goes bad. You all know that, right? It turns dark, right? Gutter oil means it's discarded oil. It's been used over and over again into the fucking sewer system. And you have people that go into the sewer system and recycle it and sell it to people that cook food. If you think that's like I'm exaggerating or lying, go ahead and look it up. In fact, I'll go ahead and look it up right now. Wikipedia has a fucking entry on it. See that? Reddit, fucking scam forum, garbage disinfo. So you can look into that. CNN, China food safety scandal, cooking oil carried. See there? It's been going on for years. So where the hell was I? Yeah, here we go. So think about that for a second. The vast majority of nutritional supplements are manufactured in facilities where the FDA doesn't have a chance to inspect things because they're understaffed, and there's not a formal regulation for the nutritional supplements industry. Okay, so the manufacturing facilities for nutritional supplements, and I'm talking about whether it's these vitamin A, this, that, whatever, all this shit. It's coming from a country, a very fucked up place, China, where they have complete disregard for workplace safety. They have complete disregard for environmental safety. You understand? They don't have proper standards. So, and if you think that's not an issue, believe me, there have been many issues. In fact, you can look at the tainted baby milk scandals. There's been at least 2 in China that I'm aware of. I think one a couple of years ago and one maybe like 10 years ago, where there were infants hospitalized and some died because of I can't remember what it was, the toxic cancerous agent, I forgot, that was put into baby formula. Okay? This is the type of shit that comes from China. And you think nutritional supplements, they're not even fucking safe first and foremost, okay? The second issue is that most of them are placebos. They don't do anything, okay? Now, I can sit here and tell you there are certain things. I've actually been healed of a particular nutritional-based supplement, of something that could have caused me to actually go under the knife. I'll tell that story sometime in the future. And it was by accident, though. It was by something that wasn't promoted, I'd never heard of. Okay. But I'm telling you right now, the problem is that the FDA doesn't regulate the nutritional supplements industry enough, so that you have people out there making false claims, fooling the public. See, you cannot legally claim that a substance, an agent, treats or cures a medical condition or a disease, unless it's already been it's gone through approval from the FDA. So in other words, you can't claim that something can treat or heal a disease unless it has gone through FDA approval. So what do the nutritional scam artists do? They'll say, promotes heart health, promotes kidney health. You understand? So what's the typical fucking pigeon, the typical fucking dumbed down stooge in the world today going to interpret that as? They're going to interpret that as being something that's beneficial for their health. You understand? A complete fucking scam. Complete fucking scam. So Robert Kennedy wants to remove any type of regulation in the nutritional. Folks, the FDA is not regulating. That's the problem. They should be completely regulating the nutritional supplements industry. And once again, ask yourself who pushes nutritional supplements. Scammers. Those are the biggest fucking swindlers of nutritional supplements. Tim Ferriss, the fucking con man. Go to his channel. Tell him I said he's a fucking con man, piece of shit. Tell him I said that. He's a fucking fraud. You know, the guy that wrote the 4-Hour Work Week. How the rich and wealthy are working 4 hours a week and you can do it too. Scammy ass book. He bought fake reviews. This started the whole digital nomad fucking swindle more than 15 years ago, which I exposed. Complete horseshit lies. I need to do a feature on. I've been meaning to do a feature on Tim Ferriss for fucking years, and I just keep forgetting. Haven't, complete fucking fraudster. And you can take a look and see who he interviews. It's the typical song and dance. You know, Tim Ferriss is he's part of the gang. By the way, take a look. The percentage, the people that who he features, are they part of the gang? Yep. You better fucking believe it, because why? It's a big clusterfuck, a big circle jerk, a big mafia, and they want to gang up to fuck all of you. They want to control the discourse. Got it? You're not allowed. Doesn't matter your expertise. You're not allowed to speak on their high exposure platform. They don't want to empower you, because you might come out and not support Israel, because you might come out and unmask who runs Wall Street and how they're defrauding everybody, and who runs the media and how they're defrauding everybody, and who runs the political system in America and how they're defrauding everybody. You got it? But if you're one of them, you're going to be loyal. You're not going to expose the mafia control, and you're always going to be loyal to Israel, right? You understand why and what's going on, this level of discrimination and control? That's what's going on, folks. And none of these motherfuckers out there would ever confront me on a neutral fucking platform. None of them. Because they fear me. Because they fear the truth. And they fear work. That's why they don't talk about the truth. They hide the truth. And they sure as hell don't do real fucking work. You name it. Name all the guys. I already named one. Tim Ferriss, Joe Rogan, Lex Friedman. All these guys. and all the people they interview. You better believe they know who I am. They don't really follow me, but they know, they've heard, they've come up. They don't care because I have no reach. You understand? If I had reach, you like drama. Can you imagine if I had fucking exposure and reach? I'd be slapping the shit out of these guys, from a figurative standpoint, verbally, exposing everything on a daily basis. Can you understand how that would be a threat to all the control that's going on out there? That's why I'm probably the most feared person in the world. Well, not really, because I don't have any exposure, but potentially I would be. But that's why they keep me down. That's why they've kept me down from day one. They realized I would be somebody to threaten their gravy train of disinformation and scams. You see. So Kennedy with Kennedy in control of the HHS, he's going to advocate. Take a look at this one. Kennedy is well known for touting the debunked claim that vaccines cause autism. Now, this claim here, I'm not going to claim that they do, but I do believe that there should be a lot of research, because clearly the epidemiological evidence would suggest that there is a close link. If you look at epidemiology, if you all know what epidemiology is, it's just basically the field of medicine that looks at data to create causative associations between disease and incidence of disease and use of certain agents, so on and so forth. In fact, it was epidemiological studies that actually proved that smoking cigarettes causes lung cancer. I don't know to this day if they have proven actual medical evidence. It's epidemiology. I don't know. They may have, but so epidemiology it can be very important. So clearly, I haven't looked at the research epidemiology. I'm assuming that there is epidemiological data or studies that do indicate that vaccines could cause autism. Just from looking at the rates, the growth of autism. If you look at over the decades and the increase in vaccination schedules, you've got numerous vaccines today that I never had because they're newer. And I recently looked at the vaccine schedule, and I'll be honest, I couldn't fucking believe it. Clearly, infants and toddlers are receiving too many vaccines. There's no fucking doubt about that. You don't need to prove anything on that. Okay? They're getting too many fucking vaccines too soon. Those vaccines need to be spaced out. Why the fuck are infants receiving hepatitis A and B vaccines? Hepatitis B is almost exclusively through sexual contact. Why the fuck are they giving infants hepatitis B vaccines? Right? So there's a problem with that. I can tell you right now. If it's me in charge, I would only have the essential vaccines. The question is what's essential. And then later on in life, as the child gets older, their immune system, then they can take the other vaccines. But there's clearly a problem giving kids too many vaccines too soon. There's no doubt about that. Whether or not that causes autism definitely needs to be looked at, examined very closely. Because once again, folks, remember what I said earlier, the adjuvants. It's those adjuvants, the chemical solutions, that can be the problem. And you are, obviously, let's take a look, in fact. Notice I'm being fair with Robert Kennedy, right? I'm looking at everything objectively and saying, I'm not saying that it causes autism because there's no fucking proof, but clearly I have a suspicion that's possible, and you certainly need to look at it. That's different. That's much different than what he's saying. Oh, it causes autism, because that falls into the conspiracy horseshit. Okay. Let's take a look here. Vaccine schedule. Let's see what they have here. There you go. Take a look at this. So Jesus Christ. So before the kid is 2 years old, they're receiving almost 24 fucking shots. I'm sorry. Folks, parents, don't let your kids take 24 fucking vaccine shots before they're 2 years old. That's fucking insanity. I don't care what anyone says. That is absolute insanity. I mean, hepatitis B at birth? What's going on with that? What? I mean, I have to clearly, I haven't looked into the data and the rationale, but clearly this needs to be very, very closely scrutinized at birth. Okay. Oh, 2020. So I'm surprised. I would think that one of the first would be RSV, respiratory syncytial virus. I believe, isn't that one that causes major problems for infants? That causes death of infants? I believe. Don't quote me on that. It's been a long time since I've had microbiology. You can look it up. The problem is that Kennedy goes too far and claims that vaccines cause autism. I never said that. There's no evidence of that. Is it possible? Yes. Should it be looked into? Definitely. No doubt about it. But the difference is also, not in addition to that, Robert Kennedy, what he claims is invalid. He doesn't have any fucking credibility. He has no basis for that. He's making claims based upon what he heard and read elsewhere. That's third-party horseshit. I have actual knowledge. So what I say has credibility. I'm not saying it's going to be exactly right, but I have a credible basis for my views. He does not. He does not. That's a problem. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so they did add the RSV virus, I guess because it's a newer virus. They didn't have it in 2020, I guess. Yeah, so RSV, okay, I can see that. Hep B, I'd have to look into that. I can't see why. See that? I mean, this is just insanity. It's insane. Parents, don't do this. Don't do it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you which ones to exclude and which ones to use, but I would not use all these. I think you have to expect your kid's going to have some type of issue when they're getting all these fucking vaccines at this young of an age. I mean, it's just, I wouldn't do it. I'd have to go through and look closely. And clearly, the MMR, for sure, you want that. Clearly, tetanus, diphtheria, but that's later on in life. Anyway, so that's the deal. I mean, I think that there are definitely too many vaccines that are put into infants. They need to be spaced out and they need to be scrutinized as well. And certainly they should be examined for the potential cause of autism. No doubt about that. But to claim it does cause autism is irresponsible horseshit. There's no data at all. So. He wants good information so people can make informed choices. This is the problem, folks. This is the problem, is that people are not really capable of making informed choices in many things. Think about it for a second. It's the same argument that all these scam organizations and scammers use for investments. Oh, let them make informed decisions. They don't fucking know enough to make informed decisions on investments. They don't know shit. They think that they know, but they don't know. And this is even worse. People don't have they don't know about the science, they don't know about the medicine. They're not capable of doing it. Okay? That's why there are certain mandates for certain vaccines. The problem is there's probably too many. I mean, the whole thing with fluoride in drinking water, I don't even think that's even relevant anymore, at least in the U.S., because who the hell drinks drinking water, tap water? No one even drinks tap water anymore because the tap water is so fucking, it's amazing. Instead of addressing fluoride, see, folks, Robert Kennedy just wants to appeal to the certain faction of conspiracy crackpots, the Alex Jones nutcases, okay, and all the nutritional supplements shills. When in reality, what he should be talking about is the fact that the drinking water is riddled with pharmaceutical agents, pharmaceutical drugs, trace elements of pharmaceutical drugs. You cannot remove many of these things from our drinking water, whether it be certain steroids, certain antidepressants. They're in our drinking water. That's a fucking problem. When you have steroids in our, I haven't looked it up. I know it. Let's look it up for the naysayers out there. This is the real issue. How do I know this? Because you can't remove everything from the water. Some things are too small. And of course, it depends upon, the country you're talking about. Here you go. Take a look. Harvard Health. Drugs in the water. Pharmaceutical pollution doesn't seem to be harming humans yet, but disturbing cases from aquatic life suggest now is the time to prevent. This is from 2011. Let's take a look. Approximately 170,000 public water systems are monitored for nearly 80 harmful substances. Notice they're monitored for 80 substances. There are thousands of fucking harmful substances, so there's only monitored for 80. Take a look. Just read this. You see that? This is the problem, folks. Fuck the fluoride. You're wondering why your male child has formed fucking man boobs and they don't even smoke pot? You all know pot. One of the side effects of smoking marijuana is gynecomastia, right? Otherwise, that's the medical term for man boobs. Man boobs. Right? Well, maybe your son has man boobs because they're drinking water that's got a lot of fucking estrogen in it, right? So, anyway, that's the big issue. So ask yourself, why isn't Robert Kennedy talking about this? This is a much bigger issue, don't you think? I think so. Why? Well, first of all, he's probably too fucking stupid to realize it. Second of all, targeting a real problem, a confirmed problem, isn't going to lure in the masses. It's not going to get him public support from the lunatics. Because the lunatics aren't aware of this. Why? Because the lunatics, their cult leader, doesn't talk about this. The Alex Jones types. Why don't the cult leaders like Alex Jones talk about? Why do they talk about fluoride? Why don't they talk about this? Because they can't sell you a product that's going to combat this. You understand what I'm saying? It's all about the fucking money. RFK Jr. repeats unfounded COVID claims while defending himself against anti-Semitism accusations. Let's see this here. Everybody's an anti-Semite. Fucking joke. Okay, so let's see. Kennedy, an avid opponent of COVID-19 vaccines and public health policies that were intended to reduce the spread of the virus, pushed back on the notion that his previous remarks about COVID-19 that mentioned Jewish ancestry and history were anti-Semitic. Okay, what did he say? Let's see here. Yeah, so basically, I think he claimed that the coronavirus, or no, the COVID vaccine targeted everyone except for Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese. That's what he said. Here you go. Look. Asked about his comments from July, in which he said COVID-19 was ethnically targeted to spare Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese people. I mean, what kind of stupidity is that? First of all, how is that anti-Semitic? Oh, Bill, because you mentioned Jews and it wasn't in a favorable light. He didn't say that Jews are great, so it's anti-Semitic. I mean, I don't know where that comes from. But let's be clear here. This is a stupid fucking claim. It's an unfounded claim. And of course, why would he say this? Kennedy would say this because he wants to appeal to this faction out there that, you know, there's conspiracy out there basically that says, well, look at the whole Fauci and all the people behind the vaccine were Jews. Okay? Apparently there's this whole group out there that wants to put a conspiracy that Jews want to get you the vaccine and the vaccine's bad because they want to get you. And I guess his whole claim is that basically, well, they're going to be spared. It's not going to kill them. The vaccine's not going to kill them. This is complete stupidity and horse shit. Okay? It's complete nonsense. I mean, but you understand. Kennedy said this because he wants to align himself. He wants to gain popularity. That's what I said. Kennedy was a nobody until he started coming out with all these crackpots. This is why he's doing all this. Okay? Complete fucking horse shit. Okay? Completely stupid. And, this statement, think about this. COVID, I'm sorry, it was not the vaccine, the virus. COVID-19, according to Kennedy, was ethnically targeted, was actually created, according to Kennedy. That's what he's saying. Created based upon ethnicity to spare Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese people. I mean, who would say something this fucking stupid? I guess the other Jewish people aren't spared, right? The Sephardic Jews, they're not spared. I mean, come on, Kennedy. You're a fucking idiot. Completely fucking stupid. I mean, this is like something that, well, Alex Jones wouldn't say this because you know who funds Alex Jones, but he would say it about Chinese people for sure. I mean, this is just complete. Any person that would make such a baseless, stupid, and it's not only baseless and stupid, it's fucking illogical. Claim like this has zero credibility, not just from this statement, but forever. Okay? Because clearly this person who makes this statement, Kennedy, is doing this dishonestly. He's doing this as a way to deceive people to support him. He wants to align himself with this faction of people that believe a bunch of horse shit. Okay? No. That's stupid logic. This is a quote. This is a quote, and I've seen it many times. Okay. Here's the interview right here. It's just not, it's a completely. I can say right now, this is according to Kennedy, I can say right now there's no medicine for cancer that's safe and effective. Okay? This is not true. This is patently false. Now, I've gone on record as someone who is a big critic of cancer, and the theory of cancer I don't think is actually correct. I think it's actually wrong. But that's another topic of discussion. Remember, I do have a very advanced background in science, in biosciences, and in fact, there's I don't think it's correct. This is why there's been a lot of the war on cancer now has been going on for 50 years since Nixon proclaimed it, and yet we have not gotten a lot of progress. Are there no medicines for cancer that are safe and effective? That's not true. There are some, but they're limited. They're mainly limited to the blood cancers, specifically, mostly for young people. So you do have progress that's been made with lymphomas and leukemias, without a doubt. But that's pretty much it. That's the sad reality. I'm sure there's probably some exceptions here and there. So is that true? No, it's not true. But you see, he wants to say extreme things. He wants to make extreme claims. You see? You can't, because shades of gray aren't popular. People are stupid, so they want to accept black and white. You see, that's how you communicate to the masses of idiots. You state things that are black and white. And the reality is that the vast majority of things in this world are not black and white. Okay? There has been cancer improvements, but they have been far and few. And if you compare the amount of money, the amount of time and research and effort that's gone into cancer therapies and cancer treatment, it's been a very, very, very low yield and low return on investment. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. But once again, Kennedy, he doesn't have any basis. He's just going by what he's heard elsewhere, is third party. I don't think you should have a person in a position of high authority like that who doesn't have a background at all. He's just going by what someone's saying. So, look at this. JFK once said COVID-19 pandemic feels very planned. Fucking idiot. They all planned it. Listen, folks, all you out there, if you believe that COVID was planned, it was a plan, in terms, think about it for a second. The plans could come from many different angles, right? So, was it planned from China? Did China plan this? I can't say for sure, but I would not. That's not something that I would state. Okay, that's something that I would have to see a lot of proof that was planned from China. I don't believe that to be the case. Is it possible? Of course it's possible, but I don't believe that to be the case at this point. But then you look at if it was planned, because there's a lot of people that talk about it being planned in the U.S., right? They talk about it being planned in the U.S. as a way for the government to gain more control. That's complete fucking stupidity. That's nonsense. Absolute bullshit. Okay? Now, did Washington gain control? Once they spotted an opportunity, did they act upon that opportunity? Without a doubt. They certainly did. But there's a big difference between exploiting a situation and planning it. Okay? It's just complete stupidity. But Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says it feels planned to him. It feels planned. Alex Jones, conspiracy guy. There you go. So he's not talking about China. He's talking about the U.S. government, which is what I thought. I suspected. Wow. This is alarming. Now, once again, folks, keep in mind, understand I'm being objective. I was in no way, shape, or form supportive of how the U.S. government rolled out their COVID vaccine propaganda and all their bullshit at all. Complete horseshit. However, there's a big difference between that, claiming that they planned it, so on and so forth. You got this guy now is going to be in charge of the HHS. I hope to God that he does not get approved. And see, look, in some video, he claimed that the government may have planned COVID. Why? Folks, you understand who's going to watch the video? All the conspiracy crackpots. You understand? Robert F. Kennedy was a nobody. Nobody knew him. Nobody heard of him. Nothing. He aligned himself with all these conspiracy crackpots and all these conspiracy crackpot theories, and now he's gained a following. He did this. Why? Because he's a dishonest fucking tool. He's a dishonest piece of shit. He's an opportunist, a dishonest, opportunist piece of shit. That's what he is. Okay? I don't like people like that. I don't trust people like that because they're willing to sell out anyone, any cause at any point in time for money and power. Got it?
That are not doing it. Clearing out the corruption. You say clearing out the corruption in your terms. Would that mean clearing out the top level federal service workers that are currently at the FDA and the CDC?
In some categories, I would say.
What does that look like? Yeah.
In some categories of workers, there are entire departments, like the nutrition departments at FDA, that have to go.
This guy's a danger. Complete fucking reckless danger. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's a danger. No doubt about it. And remember, once again, folks, I'm of the mind of if you're not high risk, or not come into contact with high risk people, I would not recommend the vaccine, the coronavirus vaccine. Certainly would not recommend it. You have to be high risk for me to recommend it. Which, once again, let's not forget that you had our whole medical system. They didn't want to take it. Those are people that are high risk, right? They are working in a facility that's an incubator for infectious diseases, hospitals, and therefore they are potential carriers of the coronavirus, and they don't want to get vaccinated because it's their right. Now, all those motherfuckers in the healthcare system should have gotten fired. And if you're listening to me, any of you motherfuckers out there, shame on you. You're a disgusting disgrace. You're a disgusting, pathetic disgrace. If you didn't want to get vaccinated to prevent infecting people that are already in the hospital, that are very ill and susceptible to potential fatality due to the coronavirus, you should have resigned your fucking position. You dirty piece of shit. Same with these fucking teachers. Similar situation with all these teachers out there who now have, from the beginning, from day one, 15 years ago, even longer, have been promoting Facebook to their kids, have been putting homework assignments for their students on Facebook. Completely fucking disgusting. People that we rely on. We rely on teachers to help our kids, to educate our kids, and what have they done? They've thrown them in the fucking gutter by indoctrinating them with fucking disinformation, data stealing portals that have caused numerous suicides and deaths. Same with our healthcare system. People rely on medical professionals to help them when they're sick and die. And these same people actually helped cause their death when they didn't want to get vaccinated for the coronavirus. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Let's take a look now at Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz. The latest appointee. You all know Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz is the crackpot. And this is the remarkable thing about Dr. Oz. The guy is obviously well-educated. He's obviously intelligent, very intelligent guy. And you have to ask yourself, what happened to him? What happened to Dr. Oz? Right? What happened to Dr. Oz? What made him go to the dark side? Now, let's just kind of give you I don't know a whole lot about the guy. I just know he's one of Oprah's, what would you call it? He's a product of Oprah Winfrey. Remember, Oprah is the queen of creating con artists and frauds. She's launched the careers of so many con artists and frauds, right? And I've mentioned before, Joe Rogan is the internet version of that, right? So he had a show launched from Oprah, Dr. Oz show, where he goes on, and I've never even seen the show, but I know he had gone and was promoting all types of bullshit, nutritional bullshit, making false claims, stupid claims. And I don't even know the specifics, but I know one thing that stood out, and I'll get to that here in a second. Let's listen to this.
President-elect Donald Trump has named 2 more people to his administration, investment banker Howard Lutnick as Commerce Secretary, and Dr. Mehmet Oz, the noted TV personality and heart surgeon, to head the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Dr. Oz will oversee programs that provide health care coverage to about half of all Americans. His talk show, which ran for nearly 15 years, was one of the most popular during the daytime. But he's pushed questionable medical treatments not backed by experts and has sometimes promoted misinformation. In making the announcement, Mr. Trump said that Dr. Oz fit right in with the Make America Healthy campaign. Lev Fasher of Stat News has been following Oz's career, and he joins me now. Lev, thanks for being with us. So you profiled Dr. Oz back during his Senate run in 2022 in Pennsylvania. And back then you pointed out that while he is a medical doctor and a noted heart surgeon, he also spent much of his career embracing untruths, as you put it. What did you mean by that, and what kind of reaction are you hearing to him being named to lead CMS?
That's right. This is someone who, in the course of his famous TV show, his career as a celebrity doctor, essentially was known for promoting weight loss supplements that didn't have any evidence to support their use. He at one point tweeted about astrology being a valuable tool to learn health information from. So he has a lengthy track record of that kind of dubious statement, to put it mildly. He once even got in trouble with the Food and Drug Administration for suggesting that common brands of apple juice have unsafe levels of arsenic. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of concern being expressed in the public health community upon the announcement of this nomination, because he is going to be running this sprawling, massive federal agency that is responsible for millions and millions of Americans' healthcare.
And that sprawling agency means he's in charge of Medicare, Medicaid, the Children's Health Program, would oversee the healthcare exchanges. So what kind of influence could he have on policy?
Yeah, it's a fascinating pick, because this is, as you say, a celebrated surgeon and a celebrity, but this is a very bureaucratic agency. It's both a regulatory agency and essentially an insurance provider. So he's going to have immense influence.
There you have it, folks. Talks about using astrology to help you in healthcare. What the fuck? And so here's what it's all about. Dr. Oz was promoting this anti-malarial drug during the COVID, right? The COVID breakout, the coronavirus breakout. I didn't even know this because I wasn't really following it that closely. Some of you probably know this. Hydroxychloroquine. This is for malaria. He was promoting this. Now, I might be wrong. I haven't, it's been a long time. But I do believe that these types of malarial drugs have some pretty harsh side effects. I do believe so. That could be wrong. And if that's the case, then you certainly don't want to be taking these drugs unless unless you really need to take them. But And this is why Trump was pushing this bullshit. Hydroxychloroquine. I think that's how you say it. Hydroxychloroquine. You see that? So Trump initially latched on to Dr. Oz, the TV doctor. And folks, look, I think I have to believe that it was the media. Dr. Oz got involved with the media, and he no longer was a doctor. He became a TV doctor, a fake doctor. This is what tainted him. He got tied up. He got wrapped up into the whole ad-based content scheme. He needed to get viewers. He needed to sell ads. You understand? And so he became infested with nonsense. I have to believe this is what happened to the man. And so apparently Trump got these stupid ideas from the TV doctor. The TV president got it from the TV doctor. And let me just go ahead and tell you right now, complete horseshit. This ivermectin and this other, that's horseshit, folks. That's complete horseshit. You believe that stuff? Go for it. Complete nonsense. Complete horseshit. So, here's the thing. Dr. Oz actually interviewed on his show this fraudster, complete piece of fucking shit, Alex Jones' partner, Mike Adams. You all know Mike Adams. He calls himself the Health Ranger. This guy is a known disinformation, crackpot, con man fraudster. He's like the absolute most extreme fraudster in the nutritional supplements industry in the world. Mike Adams started off, he did a lot of shows on Alex Jones. I don't know what happened. He's even filled in for Alex Jones. And maybe Alex Jones, this is probably where Alex Jones got the idea to sell nutritional supplements. And since that time, Mike Adams his natural news scam site has even been removed from Google's search. It's such disinformation. Okay. Mike Adams, he calls himself a pro-liberty. Remember, folks, about liberty? Liberty! I believe in liberty and free markets. When people are telling you this whole liberty, freedom, free market capitalism, that's their whole fucking slogan. Suspect a con artist. Okay. It's like the same guys who tell you that they're a God-fearing Christian. I'm a God-fearing Christian who's also a financial advisor. Oh, okay. I'm a Christian. I'm going to send you my money. You got it? The whole Dave Ramsey spiel, right? Got it? These are simple con artist tactics. Very, very obvious. He's everything. Wow, he's pro-liberty. Another thing too is when someone comes out and lists like a huge list of things that they are, same one's like, oh, I've got 12 businesses. Yeah, because you don't make any money in any of them. You're still fucking trying. You see that? So basically what this means, he's nothing. He's a pro-life author. He's an inventor, a publisher, a prepper, a podcaster. I mean, what's a prepper? You're mentally fucking ill? You believe in the zombie apocalypse? Yeah, you're mentally ill. That's what that means. Okay. Fucking scam artist. So let's take a look here. Health He's actually got. So I do believe that he was on YouTube before and his channel got removed. And I looked at this and apparently he's put it back up. So first thing I want you guys to do is to go and flag his channel, report his channel, tell YouTube that they removed him before, he's back again. See, a year ago. He's been doing this shit for 20 years. Look, oh, Peter Schiff. There you go. Folks, what did I tell you? What did I tell you about spotting con men? Gerald Celente, there you go. What did I say about spotting con artists? What's the easiest lesson to remember? The most high yield rule to follow if you want to spot the whole army of con men. Once you find one, follow where they hang out. And you're going to see a whole there's Robert Kiyosaki. There you go. You understand. I mean, if you don't know anything about Mike Adams, and you're sensible enough, maybe you don't know the Gerald Celente. He was more popular during the gold pumping peak, 15 years ago. Complete fucking clown. He's known as the futurist fraud. If you just kind of, let's say you have average IQ, clearly then you know that Peter Schiff is a clown. He's absolute zero credibility, contrarian indicator. I mean, that's fact. Zero credibility, contrarian indicator. I've proven that. That's why I don't use the term fact loosely, unless it's by accident. I'm not using it by accident. It's intentional. So you look at Peter Schiff on here. I mean, clearly it's not going to be promoting a lot of these guys. He wants to give you his horseshit, nutritional horseshit. But clearly you can see, then you got Robert Kiyosaki. Then you should know instantly that Mike Adams is a con man. He's a scammer. Just from that alone. Now, keep in mind, he's only been back on for a year. He had a lot more videos before for many, many, many years, I'm sure. So a lot more of these guys were on his previous videos. Let's take a look at this. What do you have to say? What is the title of this video? Sermon. So I guess this is from the Bible. There you go. I mean, I just gave you an example, right? Of somebody, touting religion, right? So all the religious zealots out there, he's I trust him. I support him. I like him because he's a Christian and he's, you understand? Anyone who uses religion, right, unless you're a priest or minister or preacher, if you're coming out and using religion, you're a con man. You're trying to lure people into your fucking cult. It's pretty obvious. I mean, if you all don't realize that, then you got a lot of work to do. So he's got this little thing here. Beware the molecules of the serpent in foods. Okay.
You all enjoying those oats? I brought them just for you. Yeah, extra oats.
Wow, Mike, you're such a nice guy. You're feeding your horses. You're a nice guy. I can relate to you. You're like a normal person. You're a compassionate guy. You got it, folks.
By availing ourselves of the blessings of God.
There you go.
As represented.
Folks, if all else fails, if you can't swindle people, just bring in God. Bring in God. Oh, okay, there you go. Oh, how can you dispute God? Right? How can you not believe a man who talks about God? Just like the children, right? It's for the children. How can you not support this guy? He supports the children. You understand? So fucking unbelievable.
Through foods and superfoods and natural molecules. Isn't that amazing? And there are so many examples of this. There are neuroprotective herbs and foods and substances. I mentioned one in a previous lecture, which is sulforaphane. There are many, many neuroprotective molecules.
So he wants to tell you that God is for natural foods and so forth, and he's going to sell you the natural stuff, right? He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a complete fraud, disinformation, crackpot. Here's his website here. Basically, it's Alex Jones bullshit. And you can see here, what is this? Yeah, this is interesting. So he's just this is basically a story that they copied off of like Reuters. Just kind of reworded it because I saw this a few days ago. Elon Musk, basically, you understand. I mean, Elon Musk now wants to save Alex Jones. Can you believe Elon Musk? Elon Musk is such a fucking scam artist piece of shit. Once again, Elon Musk, folks, he's doing the same thing that Robert Kennedy's doing, that Mike Adams and all these con men do. Their actions, their words are specifically for the purpose of strengthening they're reeling in and strengthening their cult members. You understand? That's all they care about is getting this group of people so that they can swindle them. They can use them. I mean, Elon Musk has got his cult members now. He's getting free medical data from them. One example, right? So apparently the Onion, the parody website, bought InfoWars, and now Elon Musk looks like he's going to try and challenge that and buy it himself, I suppose. Alex Jones needs to be shut down. I mean, the guy needs to be in fucking prison as far as I'm concerned. He needs to be completely shut down. And let me remind everyone, Tucker Carlson, who many of you think is real, he's legit. Tucker Carlson is a 100% fraud. He's a 100% fucking fraud. Tell him I said so. Tell him he won't meet me on a neutral platform. None of these motherfuckers ever will. You name the fucker. You name them. They never, ever would. They'll come up with an excuse. They'll ignore you. They'll say, "Who? He's a nobody. This or that, whatever." They're frauds. They're pulling your leg. Tucker Carlson, absolute disinfo fraud. You know, Tucker Carlson is one of these guys. He works for the criminals. He's a criminal. He works for the criminals, the media. And then the second he gets canceled, the media is bad. Right? He turns on them. But meanwhile, he never told you the media was bad. He didn't mind working for the media for all those years, making all that money. And now they're bad. You understand? I mean, okay, you work for the media 1 year, 2 years, even 3 years, maybe 4 years. Takes you that long to figure it out. Okay, you get out. But how long was he working for the media? Many years. He knew the deal. Okay. He crossed their line. And it's all for money and ads. He gets canceled. And all of a sudden the media is bad. They're evil. They're dishonest. But he's true. No. Tucker Carlson is the media. He's the same. It's complete bullshit. And keep in mind, Tucker Carlson specifically promoted Alex Jones on Twitter, made some stupid interview video, which basically got Elon Musk to put Alex Jones back on Twitter. So Elon Musk took a vote. You understand? So Tucker Carlson endorsed Alex Jones. Tucker Carlson said Alex Jones has been right about so many things. Alex Jones has never been right about anything. Alex Jones is an absolute fucking fraud. He's built a career on fraud and lies. Okay? And Alex Jones, you know who runs Alex Jones. The same people who run everything. Same people who run everything in the West into the fucking ground. The mafia. So ask yourself why Tucker Carlson is supporting Alex Jones. Because I can guarantee we'll fucking tell you, Tucker Carlson's also part of that mafia. Okay? Don't be fooled, folks. Don't be fooled. Tucker Carlson has a bullshit video, complete lies to promote Alex Jones. Get the suckers to think that Alex Jones is their hero on their side. And guess what happens? Elon Musk feels the pressure, and he asked people, should he re-platform Alex Jones? And the people voted, said yes. Well, Elon Musk isn't going to go against the people because he wants all the people to support him because he can make the money that way. You understand? You understand what I'm saying, folks? These people have the same traits in common. They're willing to sell out as long as they can make the money. They don't care what they say or do or who they harm or even if they flip-flop. It's all about the money and the power. And people following all these frauds, folks, just because somebody says that we should have closed borders and we have an immigration crisis doesn't mean they're on your fucking side. Doesn't mean they're telling you the full truth. Okay? Elon Musk is part of the mafia. You got to understand that. Okay? Don't be fooled by some of the things he says. He's part of that mafia. He's part of that control mechanism. No doubt about it. So, Elon Musk apparently is getting involved now to try and get Alex Jones's digital assets. I mean, Alex Jones should be. Elon Musk is a piece of fucking shit. Aside from all the fraud and scams and the homicides he's been responsible for through Tesla's lies of full self-driving. I mean, he should be facing fucking court, civil court and criminal court. Elon Musk. Aside from all that, he's a complete piece of shit because he has given Alex Jones a voice, a platform. What a disgusting fucking loser. Dirty piece of shit, Elon Musk. Fuck you, Elon. Tell him I said so. You go fucking tell him I said so. You tell all these motherfuckers about me. You tell them all. You won't hear nothing from them. Because they know they don't stand a chance on a neutral platform. They know it. They don't want to be exposed for the frauds that they are because they got so many people fooled. You understand? They got so many people fooled with their half-truths, their inconsistencies, and their fucking slimy scams. Here we go. You can see InfoWars. You see he's on InfoWars. Mike Adams, Natural News, everyone's favorite uber quack, #1 anti-science website. Even the quacks think he's a quack. There you go. So remember, Dr. Oz promoted and supported Mike Adams. That's why we're talking about Mike Adams. Okay? If you think Dr. Oz is legitimate. I mean, something happened to Dr. Oz. I don't understand what happened, but I think he got poisoned, infected with the media ad-based scam that became part of his life. And he became a TV doctor who was thrown into the whole pressure to generate an audience, right? A larger audience, sell those advertisements. That's the only thing I can explain. It's the only thing that makes sense because he's clearly not an idiot. But you can be very intelligent and you can be seduced and fall into traps. Okay? It can happen. And it's clearly happened to him because if you fall for a cult, intelligent people fall for cults. Once you fall for that cult, you don't realize you're in a cult and you can't get out. And this whole conspiracy horseshit nonsense, nutritional shit is a cult. Oz fell for it. He's in it. He's in knee deep, maybe probably neck deep. He can't get out. He doesn't realize it. So you can see, Health Ranger appears on Dr. Oz show to discuss toxic heavy metals and superfoods. So fucking yeah, folks. Guess what? You know, there's so many foods that have toxic metals that are going to kill you, and guess what? Those companies don't care. In fact, according to these conspiracy lunatics, they want to kill you. That's what Alex Jones says. He says that all these companies that make, you know, the mega giants that make food and beverage companies, they want to kill you. They want to depopulate the earth. Think about that one. It makes perfect sense, right? After all, if you run, you know, Kraft Foods or General Mills and you want to poison people, you have fewer customers to buy your products, right? Fucking complete fucking nonsense. Look at this fucking fraud. America's quack Dr. Oz. He used to be a rising star in academic surgery, a highly skilled cardiac surgeon with a strong track record of publications in a peer-reviewed literature. Then he met Oprah and became America's quack. There you go. That's exactly right, folks. That's what I said from the beginning. It's exactly right. This is the Oprah effect. The Oprah effect. You see that? Fame, money, power, media scam. And there you have it, folks. There you have it. And he's had some more fucking quacks. And now he's got Linda McMahon, head of the, what? Department of Education? Is that what it is? Of course, her husband, Vince McMahon, who he claims to be of Irish ancestry. Let me just go ahead and clear this up on the record. Vince McMahon, and you can just look at the guy and you can tell he's about as much Irish as Kevin O'Leary is. Okay? And Kevin O'Leary ain't no fucking Irish. He may have an Irish name. His parents might be from Ireland, but he ain't Irish. He's not Irish in his thinking. He's not Irish in his conniving or anything else. Vince McMahon, of course, now Vince McMahon, I do believe he was being investigated by federal prosecutors for sex trafficking, right? Remember, Vince McMahon, you got a guy who created a completely fictitious industry, wrestling, where guys on fucking steroids, right? Guys on fucking steroids running around in bikini underwear, squeezing each other's asses. Okay? And that's part of what's been part of the element that's dumbed down a lot of the people that fall for that horse shit. Linda McMahon, right? I mean, this is just complete. Anyway. That's all I've got on this.